Hi there, my name is Joey and I am a research engineer at the National Composites Centre and also a 5G project lead. The National Composites Centre, we specialise in researching new ways of making composite materials, new applications for composite materials for numerous industries. My journey to become an engineer was probably quite conventional. I studied aerospace engineering at the University of Bristol, which is where I now live. What inspired me to become an engineer was watching the film Top Gun when I was younger. So I just used to love watching the jet fighters fly around, and I just wanted to know how those things were made, how they worked, how they flew, and that's basically how I ended up going down my journey of that. But in all seriousness, I used to just love how learning how things were made, and how things worked, that could have been anything. And I think if you've got a general curiosity for how things work, then engineering is definitely a good discipline or a good career path to get involved in. The type of skills that you need to be involved in engineering are so varied depending on the discipline you choose, and really is a discipline to suit any kind of interest you might have, whether that's acoustic engineering, whether that's civil in terms of making buildings, aerospace engineering, making planes. You could be working in mechanical engineering, making roller coasters even. There is any number of different things that you might be able to get involved in engineering, so don't limit yourself to what you think your understanding of engineering is. Really have a look at what's out there. Something that you will probably need though, no matter what engineering discipline you choose, is maths. So definitely stick with that subject as you go through school if engineering is something that you'd like to get involved in. I think another thing that would be good to try and get your skills up in is coding, as that's becoming more and more popular to be adopted within industry and within engineering. A particular language called Python is used quite widely, and it's only going to grow. So I'd recommend looking up some online guides for beginners Python tutorials. There's plenty of free ones out there, and it's not as scary as it looks. Another area that I think you should look at is the Internet of Things, and it's an area that I'm getting involved in a lot at the moment. And the Internet of Things is basically how everything in our world is going to begin to be connected together, whether that's a building or a car or our toasters even. Everything will be able to talk to each other through the internet, through the cloud, and bring loads of interesting new opportunities for developments. I think another key area that is worth talking about at the moment is sustainability, and the National Composites Centre is involved hugely in sustainability at the moment. Some really funky stuff that we're getting involved in is a particular area called biofabrication, which is using microorganisms to actually grow materials, natural materials that can be used in buildings, can be used in cars or planes, and they're totally biodegradable. Another key element and push on sustainability is actually digital technologies, which might sound weird to start with, but these digital technologies are allowing us to do more and more in the virtual realms. So not having to actually make and test something, which is wasteful and uses lots of energy. Instead, we can simulate everything in our online and our software platforms, and actually through all of that we don't need to make anything, which saves a huge amount for the environment. And also we're able to make things more cleverly and produce less waste by making sure we make things right the first time we make them, and digital technologies are enabling us to do that. I think the most interesting thing and the most exciting thing about being an engineer is getting to play with cutting edge technology and make a real difference to the world's problems. So if that's something that interests you, then I'd encourage you to get involved in it.